The civil rights picture of those years was one of violence, of segregationists lashing out in resentment at the school desegregation decision. The names in the news were names like Little Rock and Clinton, Tennessee. Somewhere outside the picture was Dr. King, speaking, traveling, but seldom making news as a leader. The battle in Albany raged throughout the spring and summer of 1962. The aim was desegregation of all public facilities, the method nonviolent protest. Unexpectedly, Albany police countered with perfect order and nonviolent arrest.
What would happen to me from some of our sick white brothers? Well, I don't know what will happen now, but it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Peaceful protest! Peaceful protest! Peaceful protest! Peaceful protest! Peaceful protest!
Welcome to Shadow and Light, where poetry revives what history left behind. I'm Kiara Page, and this is The Fire This Time, a tribute to the women who marched, who sat, who stood their ground, but were too often written out of the civil rights story. In the struggle for freedom, the church was more than a place of worship. It was a safe haven, a place to plan, to rest, to sing. Under its stained glass windows, strategy was whispered, grief was carried, and courage was born. Today, we remember women like Claudette Colvin, Gloria Richardson, and countless others, teenagers, mothers, revolutionaries. Their stories live here, in the cadence of poetry and the echoes of gospel halls. And their fight didn't end when the marches stopped. It's a fire still burning in our streets today. Defiant. For Claudette Colvin, who refused to give up her seat 9 months before Rosa Parks. They said she was too young, too dark, too poor to be the face of a movement, but she sat, pregnant with courage, in a bus that bore the weight of Jim Crow. History had me trapped, she said, but I had Harriet whispering in my ear. She sat, not for applause, but for justice. She sat and lit a fire in Montgomery no court could extinguish. We remember you now, Claudette, as the girl who knew the law was wrong and broke it with dignity. When Claudette walked out of that jail cell, it was the church doors that opened for her, the pews that held her when the city turned its back. And even now, when black girls speak truth to power, they are still told they are too young, too dark, too poor. The resistance she lit still asks for our hands to keep it burning. in the street, Gloria. For Gloria Richardson, Cambridge movement leader who faced down the National Guard. You wore no pearls, no gloves, only fire in your eyes. You didn't smile for the camera. You pushed a soldier's bayonet aside, like swatting a fly away. This nonviolence thing you said has to stop when people start bleeding. You knew the struggle wasn't photogenic. It was hungry, bleeding, armed, and yet you never blinked. Cambridge still whispers your name, Gloria, in the wind between protest chants and smoke rising from broken promises. When the streets burned in Cambridge, it was the church basement where you gathered, passing out bread, printing flyers, making a plan for the next morning. Today, the meeting halls are sometimes Zoom calls, the leaflets are posted online, but the fight is still against bayonets and bullets, and it still takes the same unblinking eyes. The choir sang her name too, for the unnamed women, marchers, organizers, mourners who shaped the movement. Not all leaders had microphones. Some carried babies, baked bread, and typed manifestos. Some wept at funerals, then organized rallies. Some prayed over the jail, or taught children how to read revolution into their textbooks. They sang, they cried, they marched, and then they went home and did it all again. Their names weren't headlines. They were the melody beneath every speech and every gospel protest chant. The choir sang her name too. In the church choir, their harmonies were covered in confession, a place to grieve without being broken, to gather strength for another march. And still today, the chorus rises in street protests, at vigils, in the whispered prayers of women who refuse to give up. Not a single flame, but a blaze, a tribute to the collective resistance of Black women in the movement. They weren't sparks, they were the kindling, the steady blaze beneath every boycott, every bus ride, every ballot cast. They stitched banners and carried coffins. They whispered strategy in kitchens. They got arrested and went to work the next day. The movement was not built by chance. It was sown by sisters. Not a single flame, but a blaze that still burns. These were not women waiting for permission. They were architects of action, and though many are still unnamed, their fire shapes our futures. In the church, in the street, in the heart of a nation, they built a refuge and called it freedom. This is Shadow and Light. I'm Kiari Page, and this is not just history. It is the work of our lifetime, Black women are still fighting. The fire they lit is the fire we carry.